Direct from Southern California, the car capital of the world, the Auto Channel presents exclusive press pass coverage of the Los Angeles Auto Show.
Let's move now to a company that is sort of in the middle, the glue between the technologies and the cars that will have this, what they call software-defined car era coming into them. Please welcome now the CTO from Movimento, Mahbub Alam.
Good afternoon. Are you guys awake? All right, what a great presentation from Local Motors and of course from Matt on Genevi. So I'm going to talk about the software-defined car. Let me see. So we have been, today it was a very interesting morning where we are trying to define what is connected car. What is the definition of connected car? What is the definition of smart connected car? What is the definition of intelligent connected car? What is the definition of semi-autonomous connected car? What is the definition of autonomous connected car? What is the definition of driverless car? There's too many of those, right? Nobody has defined in the industry. So I challenge you all to try to help define for ourselves and for the market as well. So as we in Movimento looked at it, we said, you know, it is the journey of the software in the vehicle. And it is actually the software that is defining the feature and functionality of the car. And that's how we coined it as the era of the software-defined car. So how did we get here? So today, this morning, you heard car sharing, you heard customer expectations, you heard about Uber, about, and you also heard all about software. But what is underlying? What is the underlying theme? So I want to share with you the bigger theme, the mega theme that is playing. And I call it the third era of digitalization. And as I go through this, you will be very familiar with some of this. If you look at the first era, we had the internet. It was transactional communication. We made some transactions, and companies posted, and we searched the web. We got great things. That lasted about a decade. We all know this. Then we moved to the second era, which was the social media, which is interaction, not transaction, interaction between the users as well as, and social tools and social media enabled us to do that. And we are all benefiting from that phase. But we have actually entered the third era already. And what is the third era? You heard it, but let me write it for you. It's called the collaborative economy. It is ability to use this social media as the digital trusted platform to enable to share our valuable commodity. It can be car, it can be house, it can be your lawn, it can be anything that is valuable. And you have seen some of the economics that the generation Y or the millennials will have less disposable. They want something as a service. They do not want to own something. They want it when they want it and as they need it. So this is what we're talking about. So what is fueling this collaborative economy? What are the underlying themes of this collaborative economy? Now you could take this to any direction. It doesn't have to apply for only car. You have the Uber, the Lyft, you have Airbnb, you have clothes sharing. A lot of those sharings are going on. And it is basically based on a couple of 7 factors, which is basically end user savings. It has to save the end user. It has to mean something to you. Of course, the cost of connectivity has gone down. So that's amazing. So this is fueling. In addition, the society is more environmental friendly. Whether you talk about green car or electric vehicle, there is some consciousness of our environment and what we can do, but also the aspect of social networking. And then combined with some of the technological things, which is smart devices, smartphone, 5 billion people with mobile phones, cloud platform, availability of application, and ability to run, compute, and networking at the same price as any big company can. A startup can now get a space in the cloud and do all kinds of computation. So the democratization of computing and networking and platform in the cloud. And the third is the payment. the e-payment, the mobile payment. Look at the Squares of the world. This trust that was related with the financial industry now is democratized. When you bring it all together, there are three themes that plays out. One is talked about the economic factor, which is really about the money to the end user. Second is the social factor, and the third is the technology factor. This is what is fueling the collaborative economy. And we have entered that era. So anything we do, we have to think about reusing, configurable, local motors. You saw that. Whether it is a hardware reconfigurable or 3D, it is that same philosophy of thinking. And you have to think as a company, as you think about over-the-air updates and so on, you have to think about programmability. You have to think about continuous evolution. You have to think about how can you keep the customer expectation current with the time. So how do you keep the software updated? How can you personalize? One day you would have your software car in the cloud, an avatar, your personal feature functionality. It could be your settings, it could be your music infotainment, everything. And you'll just take a car sharing and those profile will be downloaded. That is what you have to think about from basic updates and of the feature functionality. So you would say automotive and collaborative economy, what is it about? Well, we talked about Uber, Lyft, and all those things, but actually what is happening is a consumption model is changing. And when consumption model change, it means the person who is selling it or trying to do the monetization model changes. The behavior changes. What does it mean? It means really a disruption in the value chain. Look at the mobile phone. We used to have dealers on the mobile phone. Apple came and removed all the dealers, and it's a direct retail. We are seeing in Tesla, there is no dealer, direct retail. So there is some change coming into the disruption of the value chain, and it will go all the way to the entire supply chain. The way things will be sold and bought, and who are all the players are all up in the air. It's a new disruption model that is going to fuel. And in all of this, the OTA, the over-the-air, really drives the new automotive economy. Its ability to configure, change, modify, personalize, monetize through the update software anytime, any place you want. So, and this OTA platform must have three key characteristics. One is about software lifecycle of the vehicle. If you are going to do car sharing, the OEMs now own the car. We have heard the number of car is going to decrease and number of miles are going to increase. If that is the case, then someone has to maintain the software lifecycle of the vehicle. You have to have bi-directional OTA. Many people have a misconception it's something from the cloud to the car. No, it's also from the data from the car to the cloud. It's a bi-directional behavior that will unleash a whole new economy, which is the vehicle data related economy, both from the personalized data as well as machine data from the vehicle. And the third one is, of course, the cybersecurity practice, the ability of a software practice, which is constant update, constant vulnerability testing, constant code improvements is a practice that we have to not only do at the vehicle, but all the way through the tier one, all the way to the supply chain. So the OTA platform that we were looking is not only about sending a software to the car, but it's also about getting the data from the car to the cloud or server. It's also about running code analysis, vulnerability testing, proactive code updates. We are very familiar with our smartphones and laptops, and we have been doing it all along. This is going to come to our car. So why not enable OTA today? We don't have to wait for the next generation embedded OTA car. We can do today with our smartphone. How many of you remember how you updated your Android and Apple 5 years ago? Do you remember that? It was a PC download, connect with a USB, and then we updated. It was later that Apple and they all came with a Wi-Fi update. You had to download it, store it, update it. Backup, first backup and all those. So it is possible.
You don't need to worry about those underlying service layers. You can focus on making your startup, your medium-sized company, whatever you are, relevant to our customer going forwards. And that's the most important bit. So with that, hopefully I stayed within the 6 minutes, and I'd like to thank you.
that we should be able to connect back and add an application to that infotainment to do this OTA. So it doesn't only have to be the embedded OTA that will come in a next generation vehicle architecture. The third one is absolutely the embedded OTA. That is the way to go. This is something we can do together. This is not something new. We have been updating devices all along, and it's really, me coming from a networking and telecom industry, it looks like, we take it for granted all the time. Why should it be something new in the automotive? We do our financial transaction. Our nuclear plants are connected over internet. Our utilities are connected. Yes, we have to secure it, but all those things are getting securely connected, and we just have to be on top of it. If we have the software and security first practice into our DNA and in our product development, we can definitely enable that. With that, I want to say, let's make OTA happen.
Thanks for watching the Auto Channel. For more great coverage of all major motor events, visit theautochannel.com, the internet's most complete and comprehensive automotive resource.